Hello, my name is Roger Royce. I'm a patient, and I'd like to thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak about my experience with multi-cancer early detection testing for the Food and Drug Advisory Committee meeting being held November 29, 2023. First of all, I want you to know that I would not be alive today without multi-cancer early detection. I want to say that again because I want to make sure you get it. I would be dead right now if not for multi-cancer early detection testing. In April of 2022, with no signs, symptoms, or risk factors, I read in a book about a liquid biopsy called Gallery by Grail. I asked my doctor for that test. He refused to give it to me because he said it was unnecessary testing in view of the fact that I had no symptoms, I had no risk factors, and I had fairly recently undergone a sonogram test, which showed that there was no problem or did not disclose any problems. Went to a second doctor who at least acknowledged the fact that there was such a test and that it was accurate, but again, refused to prescribe it for me. I don't know why. I do know it's not covered by insurance and it's not offered widely by smaller clinics or even maybe by hospitals, only by private providers. It wasn't until late June of 2022, after 2 or 3 months had passed, so I was finally able to get a doctor to prescribe this for me so that I could get the test. And the test fairly immediately showed some signals for various cancers, one being pancreatic. I had an MRI the next day, which disclosed a mass in my pancreas. And based on that, I was able to get CT scans as well as a biopsy at a major medical institution, which resulted in a diagnosis of stage 2 pancreatic cancer. I've had 6 months of chemotherapy. I also had surgery. I'm currently 18 months from diagnosis and 1 year from surgery, cancer-free with no evidence of disease. All the doctors I talked to agree that because of where this cancer was in my pancreas and how it was growing, I would not have had any clue at all that anything was wrong until it had reached very, very late stages, possibly the last month of my life. But certainly not until it was too late for me to have much of a chance of beating it. So I really owe my life to early multi-cancer early detection. And that is why the FDA should approve this. Just like testing for colon cancer, just like testing for breast cancer, just like testing for prostate cancer. This is a very simple test and should be approved. And it makes me wonder why it hasn't been. So I've been inquiring and I've been in contact with the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force. And they have twice now recommended against early detection screening tests for pancreatic cancer when there's no signs or symptoms of the disease. And the reason that they've expressed to me in writing is because screening tests are invasive, cause pain, and lead to unnecessary and risky treatment. I can assure you that my screening tests, I had an MRI that I paid for myself, and I had a liquid biopsy that I had to pay for myself, were none of the above. In fact, during the blood test, liquid biopsy, I didn't even leave work. It took 10 minutes. I was at my desk. And that was the test that saved my life. The U.S. Preventative Services Task Force, however, is basing their recommendation on 2019 data. They have told me that in writing. And the literature and the research in 2019 is much different than it is today. That is false data. It is outdated data. It is antiquated. And if they were to base their recommendations on current data, I don't see how any reasonable mind could come to the conclusion that these tests are invasive, cause pain, or lead to unnecessary and risky treatment. I am living proof that that's not the case. I'm also living proof that these tests save lives. So I want to thank you for allowing me to be here today and to provide my experience. I understand that the FDA is in the future going to review MCED tests. And if they're approved, they're going to be able to gain insurance coverage and become more broadly accessible, just like testing for colon cancer, like testing for breast cancer, like testing for prostate cancer. I strongly urge the FDA to act on this and to do it sometime soon. because the longer the FDA waits, the more people are going to die. It's that simple. So thank you very much for allowing me to testify.